Okay, so now you should have the class practice, and I'm going to work 4 problems with you to help you on your exit ticket and on your homework. Looking ahead on your calendar, we actually have a quiz next class. So I looked over the quiz and what it's going to be on, just if you want to write this down. You need to know how to find a least common denominator, which we have to do today, so that's good. You need to know how to find the restricted values. You're going to have 5 questions over multiplying and dividing and adding and subtracting. So you'll have 5 questions made up of those 2 subjects. So 2 over multiplying or dividing, and then 3 over adding and subtracting rational. So look back at the notes from the past 2 weeks for that. And then you're also going to have 3 problems that you have to solve, which is what we did today. And your exit ticket is also 3 problems. I'm going to work 3 problems that are similar in structure for you, so that way you know what to study for the quiz. So again, it's multiplying, dividing, adding, subtracting, 3 solving, and then just finding restricted values and LCDs. So make sure that you have that written down. That will happen at the beginning of next class. Obviously, I'll be back that day and I'll spend some time reviewing, but hopefully making this video wasn't a total bust because I worked really hard on it. So hopefully it helped a little bit, but if it didn't, then we'll recover on Thursday and we'll just go from there. But so I'm going to work problems 1, 2, 5, and 6 with you. Now 1, 2, and 5 are going to look familiar in the structure for your exit ticket and for your quiz, so really pay attention on these, okay? Now I'm going to get to where I kind of cut off some of the extra work. I'm not going to write it all over a common denominator every single time because we know that we don't really need them, so I'm going to kind of make my work a little bit shorter, but I'll still explain what I'm doing. So on number 1, the least common denominator that I'm going to want is going to be x minus 2. Now, this is over an x minus 2, this is over an x minus 2, this is not. So I'm going to need to multiply x by x minus 2 in order to make it. So then, if all of this is over x plus x minus 2, I don't even need it. All I care about is the numerator. Now the numerator is going to be x times x minus 2 plus x, I didn't have to multiply that one, equal to 2. Didn't have to multiply anything there. So that's all I've got. All right, now that I have a common denominator for both sides, don't care what it is. I'm only looking at the top. Go ahead and distribute this in. I get x squared minus 2x plus x is equal to 2. That gives me x squared. Negative 2x plus x is just negative x, and I'm going to go ahead and subtract over that 2 right there. And then I'm just going to FOIL this out, and this becomes, I'm going to have an x and an x. 2 numbers that multiply to negative 2 and add to negative 1 are negative 2 and positive 1. So then I get that x equals 2 and x equals negative 1. Now, I also have to find the domain. And the instructions. So what can x not be equal to? What are my restrictions? X minus 2 cannot equal 0, so that tells me that x cannot equal 2. So I cannot use this one, and my only solution is there. Okay? So what I did was I turned this into have a common denominator like these two, so I just multiplied by x minus 2, just kept the numerators, solved, reverse foiled, factored, and then set each equal to 0 and found my roots, and then tossed out the ones I can't use. Okay? You will see a question in which you have to do similar steps. Let's look at number 2. My least common denominator is going to be x minus 3 times x plus 5. Okay? So I'm going to have to multiply this guy by x plus 5. I'm going to have to multiply this guy by x minus 3. Now if I go ahead and factor this down, this is going to give me 24 over x and x. 2 numbers that multiply to be negative 15 add to be positive 2. Looky there. Same thing. Okay, so really I already have them over the same common denominator. Now I just need to multiply my numerators and drop the denominator. So x has to be multiplied by x plus 5, minus 7 has to be multiplied by x minus 3 equals 24. Okay, and I don't even have to worry about the denominators anymore. Don't care. Distribute in x squared plus 5x. Watch this distributing. It's like a negative 7 times x is negative 7x, and negative 7 times negative 3 is positive 21. Watch that. Equals 24. This will give me x squared minus 2x, and if I go ahead and subtract over that 24, 21 minus 24 is going to be minus 3 equals 0. So then I'm going to go ahead and factor this, x, and it will factor into negative 3, positive 1. So then I get that x equals 3 and x equals negative 1. Now what are my restricted values? My restricted values are that, I'll write them here. X cannot equal positive 3. So that means that I'm going to toss this one. I also know that x cannot equal negative 5. So that means that this is my solution, and then this is my domain. I put domain here, so that way I know what you're talking about. Okay. All right, the other question that you will probably see one like on your exit ticket and your quiz is like number 5. So on number 5, I am going to have my least common denominator as x minus 3, x minus 6. But notice, I do not have that least common denominator over here, so I'm going to have to multiply in order to get that. X minus 3, whoops, x minus 6. I'm going to have to multiply on top and on bottom over here. Okay? So what do I need to multiply this guy by here, this guy by that? And so I end up, my numerators are all I care about. I'll have x plus 2 times x minus 6 plus x minus 2 times x minus 3 equals 2 x minus 3, x minus 6. Okay? So I can't just keep this numerator by itself because it doesn't have a common denominator. And in order for it to have a common denominator, I have to put this all on top. Okay, so you're going to have a problem where you still have a bunch of stuff over here. But don't freak out, just FOIL it all out. So this becomes x squared, and then I get minus 6x plus 2x is minus 4x. Then I get 2 times negative 6 is negative 12. I'm just foiling in my head to write less work. Plus x times x, x squared. Minus 3x minus 2x is minus 5x. And negative 2 times negative 3 is positive 6. Equals 2 times x is x squared. Minus 6x minus 3x is minus 9x. Plus negative 3 times negative 6 is 18. Okay, so then I'm going to combine like terms here. X squared plus x squared is 2x squared, and I'm done with those. Negative 4x minus 5x is negative 9x, done with those. Negative 12 plus 6 is negative 6. Equals, go ahead and distribute in my 2x squared minus 18x plus 36. And then get it to one side. My 2's end up dropping out when I subtract those, so that's nice. And then I do minus 2x squared. And then I'm going to do plus 18x. And this gives me, that will go. I get 36. This will give me 9x minus 6. And then I add over my 6, and I have 9x equals 42. And then I get that x equals 42 over 9, which reduces to 14 over 3. Okay, so that's my solution. Now what's my domain? X cannot equal x minus 3, so x cannot equal positive 3. X cannot equal x minus 6, so x can't equal positive 6. That's my domain, which that solution is not either of those, so it's good. It'll work. Okay, so that one was long because we've got a lot of stuff going off on both sides, but these are the 3 types of problems that you will see on your your exit ticket and on your quiz. So you can use this paper when you take that. They're not the same problems, but the same idea and how you do your multiplying and how you set it up. Now, the other one that I wanted to do was number 6. I'm just going to get you started on it. And Miss Gags will have an answer key for this if you want to work on it and have some time to go check it. She'll have that. So let's go ahead and look at number 6 and think about what we need to make our common denominator. So here we've got x squared minus 4. Now this is a difference of squares, so this is going to factor into x plus 2, x minus 2. So let's look at the other side. I've got an x plus 2, but this is a 2 minus x, which isn't exactly the same as x minus 2. So here's what we're going to do here is our fancy way of rewriting this to match that. So I can rewrite this as negative x plus 2. Okay, I just keep the negative sign with the x, I keep positive with that. Still doesn't match this, but I can factor out a negative sign, and now it will match that. But there's like a negative 1 in front of it. So that means that in order to get, or my LCD should be a negative x plus 2, x minus 2. So you need to think about what you need to multiply all of these by in order to get this as your least common denominator. Okay? So hopefully this will help you get some practice in. Like I said, go check the answer key if you need any more help. And don't forget to study for your quiz next time. And I am excited to see you guys on Thursday when I get back. I've missed y'all, but it's been, well, hopefully it will be a really good break for me. So have a good rest of your day and good luck on your exit ticket. Remember that you can work with a partner silently and you can use your notes. And I will see you guys next time.